In this video, we are going to create a simple ETL pipeline that fetches the price of gold every single day and then visualizes it on a Databricks dashboard. On your screen now, you can see a diagram of the pipeline showing that we fetch the data with AWS Lambda, store it in S3 and then use Databricks to analyze and visualize it. Don't worry if this is your first time with Databricks or Amazon Web Services. I'll guide you step by step, and by the end of this video you have a pipeline that extracts and transforms the data ready to be loaded into Databricks for analysis. Plus, I'll include all the code and detailed instructions in my GitHub repository, which you can find in the video description. Let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do now is to create our IAM role. We're going to attach this role to our Lambda function so that it can perform all the tasks that we require it to perform. How do we do that? On the top left search bar, we're going to type in IAM, and here we're going to click on roles. When we click on roles, we're going to then click on create new role, and after that one is clicked, this entire thing will be in front of you on the screen with select trusted entity on the top. Now for trusted entity type, we click AWS service. Then we scroll down to the bottom and we choose Lambda for our use case. Then we click on the button next. And after that, it will require us to add permissions to our role. The first permission we're going to add is for Amazon S3 full access. You only need to type in S3 for this one to show up. This is the permission that will give access to the Lambda function to our storage bucket. The second permission we're going to add is for secrets manager read write. This will give our Lambda function the ability to enter into the secrets manager and get the API key. Now we go down to the bottom and we click on next. Here we have to choose the name for our role, and I've chosen my demo role DB Gold Fetcher. After we've done that, we then directly scroll down to the bottom and click on create role. And just like that, our IAM role is created. As a second thing that we're going to do, we will store our API key inside a secret using AWS Secrets Manager. We're going to use that because this is best practice and this is used in production environment. So how do we do that? On the top left search bar, as I have already typed in, you're going to type in secrets. Once you go to the Secrets Manager, you click on secrets in the top features, and this entire screen will pop up in front of you. You will click store a new secret. Under secret type, we're going to choose other type of secret, like you see here, an API key, for example. Now, under the key value pairs, on the left side, you're going to paste an X access token. This is very important to be as it is, as I've showed you, because this is what we're going to use in our code later. On the right side, you're going to put in your API key. So you can get your hands on an API key by registering at goldapi.io. I will leave a link in the description of this video where you'll be able to find it. Then we navigate down and click on the button next. We choose a name for our secret and optionally a description. Then we navigate down once again, click on the button next. Final configurations, don't worry about them, just click on the button next. And finally, you have to click on the button store to store it as a secret. So I'm not going to use that right now because I already have one secret that I have already stored. But this is how you store your API as a secret in the Secrets Manager. Now, as a final thing, before we start working on our Lambda function, we need to create our storage where we're going to keep all of the data. We're going to use an Amazon S3 bucket for this. And how do you do that? On the top left search bar, we're going to type in just S3. And here we're going to select buckets. Once we click on buckets, we will have the option to click on create a new bucket. When we click on that one, we will have this screen pop up in front of you. So now the process is pretty straightforward. We're going to choose a name for our bucket. I'm going to put in here something random. Then we scroll down. We leave everything here as it is. We don't change anything. And when we go down below, we'll have the option to create the bucket. So I'm not going to create the bucket now because I already have one that is set up for the task. But you have to create it for yourself. Now, finally, we're going to create our Lambda function that will execute the code that we want to execute and to extract and transform the data. So how do we do that inside AWS? On the top left, we're going to have to write Lambda. And once we click on this service right here, we will have this window pop up in front of us. We will click on create function and we're going to use author from scratch. Now here we will just have to enter some random name. I'm going to use my goat function. For the runtime, we're going to use Python 3.12. The permissions that we will use an existing row. So change default execution row, use an existing row, and here we're going to use the row that we have created previously. My demo row here is my row that we're going to use. Then we click on create function. After we're here and we have our function created, when we go downwards, we're going to look at code source. Now let's wait for it to load up. So now I have pasted a code that I have already written into this function. The only things that you need to change in that code, because I'm now giving you the blueprint, will be to give the exact bucket name with the S3 bucket that you have created, the file name that you want to be saved under into your bucket name, into your S3 bucket. This file, make sure that it ends in .csv. Then you need to provide the name of the secret and the name of the region in which your secret is. Those are the only things that you need to change on your own. We deploy the code. Once we have the code deployed, now we will have to trigger it so that it starts every single day at a certain time. We use that in AWS by clicking Add Trigger. It will ask us to select the source. We will use Event Bridge and we're going to create a new rule. The rule name will be something like my gold trigger. We're going to schedule an expression. So how does this work? You can read more on cron or write expressions. You'll be provided a link here, but I have mine written in my notes. This simple code here says that every single day, no matter weekday or workday, at 9:30 UTC, the function will execute. And we click on Add. And this is basically the way that we make our Lambda function. With this, we are over with everything that we have to do in AWS. Let's take one more look at the schema from the beginning of this video, just to summarize everything that we have already done. So, we have built a Lambda function which gets triggered every single day at 9:30 a.m. UTC, gets the API key from the secrets manager, fetches the data for the current price of gold, and then uploads that data on a CSV file inside our S3 bucket. So this simple pipeline that extracts and transforms the data will provide us with fresh data that we can use every single day. So now let's look at the right side of this schema and see how we can use Databricks to analyze the data and visualize it with a dashboard. So I have left the pipeline to run now for like around 10 days, maybe a little bit more, just to gather up some data so that we have something to work with. And what we have to do now, as you can see, we're in Databricks workspace. We'll have to ingest the data into our workspace. Typically, in a production environment, those things are done automatically. However, because we're doing a tutorial, we're going to do this manually just so we can have it simple. So how this happens? On the left sidebar, when you scroll down to data engineering, you're going to see data ingestion. We click on this one and we click on create or modify table. Now we click on browse, and as you can see here, I have downloaded a CSV file. This is the same file that is within the S3 bucket where the data from our pipeline gets uploaded. I'm going to leave that file in my GitHub repository as well so that you can have real data to work with if you want to do this on your own. So now we're going to create the table. All right, now we are ready with the table creation. And as you can see here, we have quite a lot of data and we have create a new table, the table name here, and create table. Perfect. Now we have our gold prices table created. You can click on sample data just to make sure that everything is here. All right. Now, how do we visualize the data from that table? We go to dashboards on the left sidebar and we click on create dashboard. As the first thing you're going to see here, we need to add some data to our dashboard. So we click on add data source. Oh, we find our table and we click on confirm. Now this table is added to our dashboard. We now scroll down and add a visualization. So let's make it like that. And now we're going to just play a little bit with it. It will be a line chart. The color will be yellow, as it's for gold. On the x-axis, we're going to use the date. It will be no transformation, and the display will be just date. On the y-axis, we're going to go with price. And let me just write this down here. All right, we have the price for gold measured, now is the 30th of August, ever since the 18th. All right. This is basically how we have created a very simple ETL pipeline that fetches the price of gold and visualizes it in Databricks. Thank you for watching.